Welcome to the virtual training course on chemical risk in the textile industry. This online training is designed to help you grow as a skilled and responsible textile professional. In this course, you'll learn about key chemical risks and their safe management. Welcome to this training video on APEOs. These chemicals are widely used in the textile industry, including here in Bangladesh. In today's session, we'll learn what they are, why they pose risks, and what safer options we can use instead. What are APEOs? APEOs are synthetic chemicals mainly used as surfactants. The two most common types are nonylphenol ethoxylates and octylphenol ethoxylates. They are made by reacting alkylphenols with ethylene oxide, and in textiles, they help with cleaning and mixing during different processes. Where are APEOs used? In textile factories, APEOs are often used in detergents for washing fabrics, as wetting agents during dyeing and printing, and sometimes even in finishing chemicals. For example, in knit dyeing plants, APEO-based detergents are commonly used to remove oils and dirt before the dyeing process begins. Environmental impact. The problem is, when APEOs are released into rivers or soil, they break down into highly toxic forms. They don't go away quickly. Instead, they remain in the environment, enter fish and other animals, and travel up the food chain. So, the harm keeps building up over time. Human health risks. APEOs don't just affect the environment, they also affect us. Studies have found them in human blood, urine, and even breast milk. They can disturb hormones, damage reproductive health, and weaken the immune system. In simple words, regular exposure can quietly damage our health over the long term. Global legal restrictions. Because of these risks, strict rules are in place in many countries. In Europe, any product containing more than 0.1% APEOs is banned. Canada and the United States are also phasing them out. But in some regions, like China, regulations are still weak. For exporters in Bangladesh, this means we must follow strict buyer requirements if we want to stay competitive in the global market. Industry actions. Major brands like H&M, Zara, and Adidas have already banned APEOs in their supply chains. Global groups such as ZDHC are working towards zero discharge of hazardous chemicals. And Greenpeace campaigns continue to push for stronger restrictions, especially in countries where textiles are produced. Alternatives. The good news is, safer options already exist. Many chemical suppliers now offer APEO-free detergents and auxiliaries. Databases like Cleangredients list more than 300 safe alternatives. In fact, several dye houses here in Bangladesh have already switched to APEO-free chemicals to pass buyer audits and maintain trust. Example in Bangladesh. Let's look at a real example. A washing plant in Bangladesh exports to Europe. Their buyer requires proof that their detergents are APEO-free. By switching to safer surfactants, the factory not only meets compliance, but also earns a reputation as a sustainable and reliable supplier. Quick summary. APEOs may be widely used, but they are harmful to both people and the environment. Global rules and international buyers are pushing for their complete phase-out. By adopting safer alternatives, Bangladesh's garment industry can protect workers, safeguard the environment, and secure long-term business opportunities. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope you now have a clearer understanding of APEOs. If you found this training useful, please share your feedback. It helps us improve and create even better sessions for you in the future. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's training on Ajo dyes. In this session, we'll learn what Ajo dyes are, why they matter, and how they impact the textile industry here in Bangladesh. What are Ajo dyes? Ajo dyes are man-made colorants. They contain a special nitrogen-to-nitrogen bond that gives fabrics their bright and colorful appearance. These dyes are very common. You'll find them used in cotton, polyester, silk, and many other types of textiles. Common uses. Ajo dyes are not only used in textile. They are also used in leather, plastics, paper, paints, and even cosmetics. This makes them one of the most common dye types in the world. The risk. Not all Ajo dyes are dangerous. The real risk comes from certain Ajo dyes that can break down into chemicals called aromatic amines. Some of these amines are known to cause cancer. Health impacts. Workers can be exposed to harmful amines by touching fabrics, inhaling dust, or working in dyeing factories without proper protection. For consumers, babies and children are most at risk, for example, when they chew on fabrics. Environmental impacts. During the dyeing process, wastewater from factories can carry Ajo dyes into rivers. This pollutes water, affects fish and plants, and harms the communities living near textile clusters in Bangladesh. Legal restrictions. Globally, many countries, like those in the European Union, as well as China, South Korea, and Vietnam, have strict rules against Ajo dyes that release harmful amines. Since international brands source heavily from Bangladesh, our factories must follow these regulations to stay competitive. Industry practices. To meet bio requirements, factories and laboratories regularly test fabrics for Ajo dyes. The usual safe limit is 20 parts per million. By maintaining regular testing, factories ensure that their products are safe and ready for export. Safer alternatives. The good news is that safer options are available. Non-cleaving Ajo dyes and other alternative colorants can produce the same bright and attractive colors without releasing harmful chemicals. The key is working with trusted and responsible suppliers. Key takeaway. So, the key message is simple. By avoiding harmful Ajo dyes, we not only protect workers and safeguard consumers, but also strengthen Bangladesh's reputation in the global market. Safe dyes means safe workers, safe consumers, and stronger exports. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has helped you better understand Ajo dyes, their risks, and their alternatives. If you found this session useful, please do share your feedback so we can continue improving our training programs. Welcome to this training on bisphenol A, or simply BPA. In today's session, we learn what BPA is, where it's found, and how we can keep our products safe. What is BPA? BPA is a chemical used to make strong plastics and resins. It helps plastics stay clear, light, and tough. That's why you can find it in many everyday items around us. Where BPA is used. BPA is commonly used in bottles and food containers. It's also found in the coating of metal cans. And in Bangladesh, we sometimes see it in thermal paper receipts and even in certain textile trims used in garments. Why it's a concern? Here's the problem. BPA can act like a hormone inside the body. This may affect growth, reproduction, and even brain function. And small amounts of BPA can move, or leach, from plastics into food or water. Human and worker exposure. Workers may touch BPA when handling coated fabrics or paper receipts. They may also breathe it in during processing. For consumers, exposure happens when food or drinks come into contact with BPA-coated containers. Environmental impact. BPA doesn't just affect people, it affects nature too. From factories, it can enter air, water, and soil. It can harm fish and aquatic life. And while it does break down over time, it still creates risks for wildlife. Global regulations. Because of these risks, many countries now restrict BPA. For example, the European Union bans it in baby bottles. Canada, the United States, China, Malaysia, and the UAE also have bans or limits, especially for children's products. Industry best practices. To stay safe and compliant, brands and retailers now demand BPA-free products. Factories must follow restricted substance lists and test all materials. Regular lab checks are the key to keeping exports compliant. Safer alternatives. The good news is, we have safer choices. Materials like glass, stainless steel, polyethylene, or polypropylene can replace BPA plastics. And for can linings or thermal paper, we can use BPA-free coatings and developers. Key takeaways. So, let's remember. Use BPA-free materials. Protect both workers and consumers. And by meeting buyer requirements, we'll keep Bangladesh garments strong and trusted in the global market. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has helped you better understand BPA, its risks, and its alternatives. If you found this session useful, please share your feedback. That way, we can keep improving our training programs for you. Welcome to this training on formaldehyde. Today, we will learn what formaldehyde is, where it is found in garments, and how we can keep our products safe for workers and customers. What is formaldehyde? Formaldehyde is a colorless gas with a strong smell. It is often used to keep fabrics wrinkle-free and is also found in furniture, plywood, and other everyday products. Common uses in textiles. In garment factories, formaldehyde is used for wrinkle-resistant resin finishes, anti-shrink treatments, and in some screen printing inks and binders. These applications are common in export garments that promise easy care. Health concerns. Formaldehyde is listed as a probable human carcinogen. Breathing it can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat. High or long exposure can cause serious health problems. Worker and consumer exposure. Workers may breathe formaldehyde fumes during production. They can also absorb it through the skin when handling treated fabric. Even consumers may be exposed when garments release vapors indoors. Environmental impact. Formaldehyde breaks down quickly in air and water, so it does not build up in nature. However, high levels can still harm fish and other aquatic life near discharge points. Global regulations. Many countries set strict limits on formaldehyde. The European Union, China, Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam all regulate it. Baby products often must stay below 20 milligrams per kilogram, and fabrics that touch the skin are usually limited to about 75 milligrams per kilogram. Industry practices. Leading brands follow the AFA and AFIRM restricted substance lists. Factories should test regularly using ISO 14184-1 with a reporting limit of 20 milligrams per kilogram. Meeting these standards is essential for global buyers. Safer alternatives and controls. Factories can choose low formaldehyde or formaldehyde-free resins. Good ventilation and protective equipment help keep workers safe. Always verify chemicals with suppliers and maintain strong chemical management systems. Key takeaways. Keeping formaldehyde levels low protects workers and consumers. It ensures compliance with buyer requirements and strengthens Bangladesh's garment exports. Safer chemicals mean a stronger and more trusted business. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has helped you better understand formaldehyde, its risks, and its alternatives. If you found this session useful, please share your feedback. That way, we can keep improving our training programs for you. Welcome to this training on phthalates. We will learn about phthalates, their uses, the risks they pose, and how to ensure our garments are safe for export. What are phthalates? Phthalates are man-made chemicals used to soften and add flexibility to plastics like PVC and vinyl. Because they are only blended in, they can slowly move out into air, water, or onto skin. Uses in textiles and garments. In garment factories, phthalates are often found in screen printing inks, heat transfer prints, PVC trims, synthetic leather, and flexible plastic packaging. Human health concerns. Some phthalates act as endocrine disruptors, which means they can affect human hormones. They may harm reproduction and child development, and some types are linked to cancer. Worker and consumer exposure. Workers can be exposed by touching phthalate-containing prints or breathing fumes during heat transfers. Children may be exposed when they chew on PVC trims or printed designs. Environmental impact. Phthalates can enter rivers through wastewater from factories. They can harm fish and other aquatic life. Burning PVC that contains phthalates can also release toxic dioxins. Global legal limits. Many countries, including the European Union, the United States, Canada, South Korea, Turkey, Taiwan, and Egypt, ban or limit key phthalates. The common limit is about 0.1% in toys and childcare products. Global brands expect suppliers to meet these strict standards. Industry best practices. Brands and retailers follow the AFA and affirm restricted substance lists. Factories should carry out regular lab testing and maintain strong supplier management to stay compliant. Joining initiatives like ZDHC helps work towards zero hazardous chemicals. Safer alternatives. Factories can switch to non-phthalate plasticizers or PVC-free materials such as EVA, polyethylene, polypropylene, or silicone. Always confirm the ingredients with your chemical suppliers before production. Key takeaways. Phthalate-free production protects workers, protects consumers, and keeps garments competitive in the global market. Choosing safer materials and strict testing builds trust with buyers and strengthens your business. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has helped you better understand phthalate, its risks, and its alternatives. If you found this session useful, please share your feedback. That way, we can keep improving our training programs for you. Welcome to this training on dispersed dyes. We will learn what they are, where they are used, the health risks, and how to keep our garments safe for export. Dispersed dyes are special colorants for synthetic fibers like polyester, acetate, and nylon. They do not dissolve in water and stay in the fiber without forming chemical bonds. Where we see them. These dyes are common in polyester fabrics, sportswear, and bright printed garments. In Bangladesh, they are widely used in export items such as athletic wear and lingerie. Health concerns. Some dispersed dyes can cause skin allergies and rashes. A few can break down into chemicals that may lead to cancer. High-risk garments. Clothing that fits close to the skin, like underwear and sportswear, carries higher risk. Heat and sweat can increase skin contact with the dyes. Worker and consumer exposure. Factory workers can inhale dye dust during production. Consumers can absorb small amounts of dye through sweat and friction when wearing the garments. Global regulations. Germany advises against certain allergenic disperse dyes, even if it is not a strict law. South Korea bans these dyes in babywear, children's clothing, and underwear. Global brands expect suppliers to follow these safety guidelines. Industry practices. Major brands follow restricted substance lists from groups like AFA and AFIRM. They also support the ZDHC program, aiming for zero hazardous chemical discharge. Regular lab testing is required to confirm compliance. Safer alternatives. Safer dyestuffs are available for all restricted disperse dyes. Work only with approved dye suppliers and always confirm test reports before production. Key takeaways. Choosing safe disperse dyes protects both workers and consumers. It ensures buyer compliance and keeps Bangladesh garments trusted in the global market. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has helped you better understand. Welcome to today's training session on heavy metals. We are going to explore where these metals are found in textiles, why they matter for both health and the environment, and what we can do to ensure the garments we produce are safe for export. So, what exactly are heavy metals? These are naturally occurring elements like lead, mercury, cadmium, chromium, and nickel. While they exist in nature, they are sometimes used in textile production for things like dyes, pigments, finishes, and even leather tanning. Where we find them in textiles. Heavy metals can be found in a variety of places during the garment production process. For example, they may be present in dyed fabrics, printing inks, coatings, and even metal buttons, zippers, and synthetic leather products. Health concerns. The danger with heavy metals is that many of them are toxic. They can cause damage to vital organs, including the brain, liver, and kidneys. Some, like cadmium and chromium-6, have even been linked to cancer and nerve damage. Environmental impact. Heavy metals don't just harm our health, they also have a lasting impact on the environment. Once they get into the soil or water, they stick around for a long time. These metals can accumulate in fish and plants, moving through the food chain and harming entire ecosystems. Unfortunately, once they are released, they are difficult, if not impossible, to remove. Global legal limits. To protect both workers and consumers, many countries around the world have set strict limits on metals like lead, cadmium, mercury, and chromium. Regions like the European Union, the United States, Canada, China, South Korea, and Taiwan have implemented these regulations. Industry standards. To meet these regulations, global brands follow restricted substance lists, such as those from the AFA and AFIRM. Additionally, they support the ZDHC program, which works toward eliminating hazardous chemical discharges. Regular testing in laboratories is required to meet these global standards. Safer alternatives. So, how can we reduce the risk of contamination? One way is by using metal-free dyes and pigments. You can also choose nickel-free buttons and trims. And always be sure to verify the safety of materials by checking supplier test reports before production starts. Key takeaways. Testing and verifying the safety of all materials is essential. Not only does this protect workers, consumers, and the environment, but it also ensures that Bangladesh's garments remain trusted and competitive in the global market. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has helped you understand the risks of heavy metals and how we can mitigate them by using safer alternatives. If you found this session helpful, Please let us know your feedback so we can continue to improve our training programs.